Hey guys, it's Kieran and this is Austin
Hey, how's it
with
going?
Young Men's Mentoring. And today we're just doing an interview here for Austin. Um, Austin, you basically grew up in foster care, right?
Yeah, since 12.
So, what is foster care for people who don't know what foster care is?
Foster care is kind of where you have a family or a mom or a dad that takes you in. Half the time, well, a little less than half the times, they're a good home.
Okay, and who are these people? Like, who is it taking you in?
People that people that go to school and then learn to be a social worker and take care of youths. So, I mean,
Like, how
sometimes
long do they go to school for?
I think it's,
Isn't it just like like a week course or something?
I guess so.
Yeah, I used to be a child protection worker, so I know. Yeah. All right, so basically today we're just gonna interview Austin and what it's like to be a kid in foster care in Canada, because it's important to know. A lot of people don't even know what a foster kid is, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. We're out here in northern BC today in a amazing forest, my happy place, and showing Austin this. So yeah, we'll just get into it. Where do you grow up?
So I grew up in Sudbury, Ontario, where I spent my days in care.
Okay, from what age did you spend your days in care?
From about 12 years old till about 16 years old.
Yeah.
And then I was in a group home for a year.
So you were living. Who were you living with before the age of 12?
With my mother and partially with my grandmother.
Okay. What happened that you had to leave?
Well, my mom at the time didn't know how to cope with me and being a wild teenager. And we had different conflicts of, again, I can't say conflicts of interest, but we had different issues. And I mean, I just wanted to do drugs and party, and she didn't want me to do that, which is a normal mother thing to do, right?
At 12
Um,
years old?
I started smoking. Well, I started getting into bad habits around 12, but it
Okay.
was more of just aggression and being not wanting to listen because I was an angry child.
What do you think you're angry back about looking back at it now?
Well, I was angry about my father because he was murdered when I was 10. So from 10 until 13, I was an angry child.
Damn. What? Do you mind? Are you okay getting what happened? Like, how did he get murdered?
So he was addicted to cocaine and supposedly crack, and he called me one night to say, hey, he's finally gonna come out here and meet us. And then the night he was packing up his trailer with his dogs, he he got shot by a 17-year-old drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then that's kind of all that I know. You could see his article in the Mississippi Sun, I'm pretty sure it's called.
Okay. Let's walk because it's starting to rain, so we're gonna go undercover. We won't stop this interview though because we're dedicated.
Yeah.
Damn. So, I mean, you like, obviously you just were angry. Your dad got killed, and
Yeah, I was just an angry. Like, I mean, I remember at 10 years old, I wanted to be there when this kid got out of his 15 years of manslaughter charge, which pissed me off too.
how long ago did he get out?
He didn't get out. He was killed in prison.
He, oh wow.
Yeah. So I've that's good. I mean, for me, because I at 10 years old, I wanted to kill a man.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know exactly what killing a man really was fully, and how bad it is, but that's how angry of a kid I was.
Yeah. Huh. So your mom couldn't really take care of you because you're just. I mean, what does that? What does
Well,
that mean?
well, my dad had mental illnesses like bipolar,
Yeah.
and because I had anger issues, she thought I had those mental issues. So she would always say, "My son, you're just like your father, all these mental issues, like bipolar and stuff." So she'd make me get blood work, and she'd make me go see these doctors all the time. That pissed me off. That really ticked me off. She'd always tell me how my father was, and then I'm like, so now I'm like him. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
murdered and all this stuff, and That's this my notion I had about it. So that all that stuff put me to the edge to like being defiant. I think that's the word I could use. Like totally being against her, making her life hard.
Mhm.
Just going out and having parties at the house, inviting older kids over where we would drink and have fights in the house, which is not good.
Yeah. Huh. All right. So then you got put into foster care at 12. What did that look like?
So my first home I ever went to, her name was Tadai's. She was this old, really strict lady,
Yeah.
and she had 3 other kids in there. 2 of them were like 17 and 16. So I kind of got.
Were they foster kids or were they
They
biological
were
kids?
foster kids, and they
Okay.
were the 17 or the 18-year-old was really bad. He was like been in and out of jail. 16-year-old.
And you were 12?
Yeah, and
Jeez.
we would go and smoke pot and drink,
Yeah.
and it was just kind of like probably the worst thing because
Was
now
this in Sudbury?
yeah, just outside in Chelmsford,
Okay.
which is part of Sudbury. It's in the district.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. And how long did you stay there for?
I stayed there for 6 months about.
Okay.
Until like I hated it, and then I got I made it so hard for her that she didn't want me anymore, so I had to go to the next place, and that was kind of like my routine because I hated everywhere I went.
Yeah. How many homes did you go through? Do you think?
About 5 or 6, and then a
5 or
group home.
6?
Yeah,
And so I've worked at a group home, like a youth group home, so I know what it's like. And I think it's important to like share with people because most people don't even know what a group home is. So what is a group home in your case?
a group home is definitely not as nice as a foster home because with a group home, you have like 8 other kids sometimes or more.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own room.
Okay.
But you have a bunch of different staff, and most of them don't give a crap.
I
about-
did. Come on.
Yeah, most of
Yeah.
them. There is some good ones for sure.
Yeah.
And what happens is, this is
We'll just stay here for a
yeah,
bit.
okay, cool. So what happens is because it's like clockwork, and there's always new faces, you never really get that wholesome vibe of a family.
Yeah.
But I mean, at that point, I really didn't care. I just wanted to get out.
Were you in high school?
Yeah, I was in high school.
So you were living at this group. How old were you at the group home?
I was 16 about, yeah.
Okay. And how was high school for you?
High school
Would-
was rough. I was pretty much a loser. I just wanted to do drugs and party, hang out in the smoker section.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So like, I mean, like, say for example, like I come from a family that has a mom and dad. What's it like when you get home and you don't have someone that you've known for a long time when you're 16? And like, obviously, like every guy goes through tough stuff at 16, right? Like, what was that like?
I mean, for me, life from about 13 years old was all about getting high and partying. So as long as I could go, I never really had a chance to process a lot of that for
Mhm.
most of the time because I was just wanting to party. And
What would encourage, like, why did you want to get high? Let's maybe walk back.
why? Because I hated life and everyone that was doing drugs. I was just a drug addicted teenager.
Yeah.
And for me, I literally thought, I accepted that if as long as I could have enough money to, get high, stone, whatever, drink,
Yeah.
and eat, that would be a perfect life for me.
Okay.
So like I was just stuck in this void, I guess you could say, where that's all I needed.
Yeah. Okay, so you're 16, and then what happened after 16?
Well, I finished my year. I was bad in the group home, but I was definitely the better off. I was the only one with the job and the only one that had any dreams at all.
What was your job?
I worked at a lumber yard,
Okay.
so I would go in deliveries and bring people
Yeah.
lumber and drywall and stones and stuff like that.
What encouraged you to have dreams and stuff? Like, what were your dreams?
Coming from what were my dreams? My dreams were to one day help kids in group homes be better
Yeah.
than I had become, because everything I did was party, and everybody, had doubts in me, and everyone called me a loser at school because I was in like pretty much the retarded classes,
Yeah.
so I can't really say it 'cause it's not politically correct, but I was
Course support.
yeah. I was supposed to not even get a diploma,
Mm.
and then I took the essentials courses, which is the minimum the minimum amount of education to do anything. So I had to upgrade everything.
Yeah.
So I almost went to school for nothing.
Mhm.
Well, not really, but kinda. I mean, I was stoned the whole time. Honestly, my teacher screwed me over by graduating me because I definitely did not take enough in from school. The only thing I got is social skills. I'm a talker, I guess. Other than that,
So you graduated high school,
yeah, I don't know how, but I did.
and then after high school, you're what, 21 now.
Yeah.
What did you do when you're like 18?
18, sold drugs. Because I go through periods where I want to do good and then I crash down, try to be a
Mhm.
gangster. I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
done that in a while now. I'm finally off that. But I would sell drugs. I think I worked on and off. Hang out with the wrong bad crowd.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I think at that point I almost died a couple times from drugs
S-
and
All right. So now you're a sales guy, and you're
no.
becoming successful at it. What gives you the drive to be here? Because I mean, I've worked with a lot of youth and stuff, and a lot don't have good stories. They talk about what you've gone through, but they end up in prison. Or what? What do you think? What's going on that you have this drive to be successful?
Oh, the naysayers. So everybody that said, I had bosses that said, like, I want to be a motivational speaker to help people get out of that funk.
Yeah.
And I remember I had this one guy, he looked up to me, or I looked up to him. He was a really good guy, him and his wife. And I told him I wanted to be a motivational speaker, and he laughed in my face.
Mhm.
And it hurt, but at that moment I said I have to do it. I have to become successful, but you can't just be a guy on a mic and start talking to successful people. You gotta be successful. So I figure I do business, make good money doing that, open up some sort of business. I'm not a business to help people. Open my nonprofit group homes, and then once I've accomplished that, do motivational speaking and use everything that I use to make money to fund my nonprofit group homes. At the end of the day, I only need so much money. I need to leave the world better than how I found it, and that's the end goal.
Cool. What would you recommend for like say like a boy 15 years old around? Maybe he's in foster care or just in a situation where he's just feeling maybe he even has his own family and stuff, but just maybe feeling down and lost or going through similar things that you've talked about. What would you tell him?
I would tell him. I would tell him to just don't let his own thoughts of how things are going allow him to hurt himself. So not mean like cut himself or harm himself in that way, but like physically put yourself in toxic situations, like doing drugs or accepting these preconceived notions you have about yourself. Because if you do that, that's when you win. Like you are what you think you are. So if all these people are telling you you're this and you believe it, well, that's who you become. So no matter what, how crazy it sounds, you always think that you can go above and beyond what you think of yourself. Like even if people say, "Okay, you're nuts" or whatever, you're not
Mhm.
nuts. They're nuts if they think they can live a mundane life. You have to always think like what you want to be, because everyone has an idea of who they exactly want to be, and then there's who you are today. So always think about who you want to be and who you need to be, and then you'll become it. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Okay. What about if they got friends who are, doing drugs and like that's their whole crew?
Cut them out. They're
But
losers.
what if they don't have other friends?
You make other friends. See, what happens is you're the sum of who you hang out with. So you hang out with, there's a saying, you hang out with 9 losers, soon you'll be the 10th. And just because you're ahead, say you're doing the best out of all your friends that are losers, and this sounds harsh, it really does, but it's true. You have to accept it. Or
That's
you
what
can't.
we're here about at Young Men's Mentoring, the cold hard truth.
Yeah, if you can't accept it and you need everything sugar coated, you'll never get better. You gotta accept, like, if you're fat and overweight, you gotta accept it. That Tony Robbins said that. If you sugarcoat and say, "Oh, I'm big bone" and all this stuff, it'll never work. But anyway, back to the point. So, if you think that you're the top one in your group, okay, well, think about it like this: you're the king of losers. How does that make you feel, right? So you need to get in a group of people that are successful, positive. Start at the bottom, okay? You'll eventually work your way to be the most successful. You work harder. You'll learn from them. You can teach them stuff. It's mutual. And then you become a sum of all these people you hang out with. And then after that, you still keep in contact with them, but then you look for even people that will push you to the next level. You're not using them. You're gonna bring something to the table to them, and then they're gonna bring something to the table for you. And then it's mutual. And then you become a sum of a good league of people that are actually positive and actually doing something with their lives. Because you can either be hunting for pigeons or you can soar with the eagles.
Cool. Thank you for that, Austin. Is there anything else you want to share with? It's going to be a lot of young guys listening, maybe some of the parents. Anything else you'd want to share with the audience right now?
If you always do what you always done, you'll always be who you always been. If you always give what you always got, you'll always get what you always got.
Yeah. If there's like a kid watching this, maybe he's in foster care, just going through some stuff, and he connects with you, is he able to contact you? Maybe
Yeah.
I'll put a
100%.
link somehow to contact you.
Yeah, to my Facebook. My real Facebook. I'm not gonna make a fake one. You can add me, talk to me at any time. Like I said, it's something I want to do with my life.
We might put you on youngmensmentoring.com as well, so we can reach out to you there as well.
Sounds good. If I can't make a difference in someone's life every day, what's the point?
Cool. Well, thank you very much for sharing, Austin. I know it's difficult to share, and like people, you know what the problem when I'm a social worker, like there's this confidentiality thing.
Yeah.
So it's cool that like we get you on camera now that you're an adult and you can talk about this, and it's your choice, because most people don't know what's going on, or they think they're alone, and a lot of people go through a lot of stuff. And yeah, just keep at it. Austin's doing it. I'm doing it in my own way, and we're here for you. Thanks for listening, guys.
Have a good one.